Hello, hello, and welcome to the Become Your Magic Power Hour, where we meet here every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. in order to ignite or just gain perspective on all the abracadabra moments that led you to where you are or who you are. You know what I mean? And so, where you are or who you are, right? And so that's what it's all about. It's about acknowledging what got us to where we are. It's about turning those valleys into the valuable moments that gave us our perspective on the climb, the tools for the setup, all the different things that make us magical. When we began to speak about what we went through, what we've accomplished, who we become, you actually sit and you can actually see the magic. And in order for me to see the magic in you, in order for you to see the magic in me, it kind of requires that we are honest in our, in our stories and who we are and what we come from and what we've attained through the journey, how much we fell in love with ourselves, how much we hated ourselves at one point before we learned to love ourselves, how we basically got through the process in order to show up in our promise, our purpose. And so this is about us talking about the process so that you can shine your light in somebody else's darkness. The process starts with you being active in your light, you being active in your magic. And being active in your magic is really saying, I remember the choice I made that led me to that place that I ended up at, right? Because that's what magic is all about. And so I want you to know that that's what it means to become your magic. That's what it means to show up. That's what it means to be intentional. That's what the whole journey is all about. So at this time, I'm going to find myself and we're going to begin to share, because that's what we do. We share. It's 9 p.m. Dinner should have been cooked. Kids should be fed. You should be ready to gain perspective, give perspective. Don't leave the same way you came, because God said you should either be dropping something off or picking something up. That is how you do not leave the same way that you came. And so what do we have for one another? What do you guys have for us today? If you come on, just say hello. Hello. How are you? Okay. I'm back to finding myself. Okay, so let me share myself, because we normally don't start the hour into the 15-minute mark. And today, what are we talking about today?
The vaccine shot.
We're talking about the COVID vaccine and what are your feelings, or AKA perspective, because at the end of the day, we're all just giving our opinions, even the people in charge, because we really don't know what's next. We really don't know what they expect. And so we just actually making, hypotheses, which is educated guess about what we see around us. How do we feel about the vaccine? Are we willing to get it? Do we find it strange who's getting it first? So another topic that was born from...
I don't know if you can talk about that. I don't know.
Can you talk about what? I mean, just your perspective on a COVID shot. Are you scared to take it? Are you planning to take it? Do you know? That's a good question. Okay, so let me share this thing. Okay, so let me find... So anyway, here we go. Close. I gotta put my thing. How have you been doing in this holiday season? Do you have, for small talk in the beginning, are you feeling joyful? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling depressed? Like, what has the season brought to you? Because we should have real conversations in real time in order to deal with real situations and issues. So, is this season bringing you sadness? Is it bringing you joy? We're ending out the year. 2020 has been tough. I think unexplainable to say the least. What is another word?
Never before journeyed.
Never before journeyed. Never before journeyed. That could be an option. What is what is another option? Are you prepared? What are you doing? We celebrate Kwanzaa. Do you celebrate Kwanzaa? Do you celebrate Christmas? Do you celebrate Hanukkah? Are you sad because you can't travel this year? I heard, a lot of people are used to tradition, and Christmas is more so a tradition of being home, family, being able to go out, see people that you love, bless them with your time, if not a special gift. But in this season, we can't travel. I've heard Melissa say a number of times how it's kind of sad for her in this season because she is one that normally travels. We're not used to traveling, so I'm not feeling that part. We're normally. I'm talking about for Christmas.
Oh no!
I said for you. I guess you're not even listening to me over here.
Scratching my head.
Scratching your head. So I was saying, what is your normal tradition for this time, and is it different with the pandemic, and how are you dealing with that? Because we are a people, and when I say people, I'm just talking about soul spirits who have a problem with change. But anytime you're going somewhere, everything around you it tends to change. But we kind of get uncomfortable with change, even though it's necessary. And so if you're normally used to traveling and because of the pandemic, you can't travel, how are you doing in this season? Because becoming your magic and this whole power hour is because I'm the soul coach. And I think it's important that we deal with different things that, that are just not regular for us. That's something that is just not what we're used to doing. And so when you get stuff that happens to you out of the blue that you didn't expect or that you're not prepared for, it kind of affects you in big ways, like huge ways. You know what I mean? And so you got to be true to who you are and what you got going on. Oh, here we go. So we are only 7 minutes in and we don't start to the 15-minute mark. So what's some small talk? What's some topics that we have been playing with? Let me see. I'm going to look at my notes and see what is something that we have.
Like my monologue earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We was talking about candy, though. Like, seriously talking about candy.
I know.
A Hershey kiss for your kiss.
Oh, what about today? We was talking about you're free until somebody locks up your mindset.
What do you mean by that? So you gotta break that down. That sounds crazy when you just say it like that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how we got that topic.
What do you mean?
We were actually driving, and what happened was we saw a young woman running, and it was just it was only like 6 something, but the sun is going down early now.
It's cold out
She didn't have. I wasn't even talking about her coat. She just was running by herself. I'm talking about the one that was running by herself.
Oh,
what brought up that whole topic, which is you're free until somebody locks up your mindset. And so what Rondell, what Chef Ron said is that kind of what did you say? That's kind of dangerous. Her running, late at night. Now, meanwhile, it was 7, but the sun had started to fade, and she was running. He was like, that's kind of dangerous for her to run late at night, by herself. And then, I was sitting there and I was like, well, it is kind of dangerous, but it's only dangerous had the seed been planted in her head. So let's say she is somebody who is used to doing stuff on her own, don't have a partner to run with. Maybe perhaps she had worked all day at home or maybe at the job, and she is committed to her weight loss. So she knows she has to run from 5 to 6, but since daylight saving times has set in, she still has her same schedule and she's not paying attention to that because she, or maybe nobody that she is in close proximity to, has planted that seed to be careful, don't run like at night, you know? So when I say, when I thought of that, that's when I wrote that we lock up, we're free until somebody locks up our mindset. And so seeds can be planted of positive or negative or just experience. That's why you got to be careful about all the perspectives that you get, or be careful about, taking on somebody's understanding or their experiences as your own, as it may lock you up per se. Now, I can understand it could be dangerous, but the point of the matter is, unless we have access to that danger in our mind, if we don't think like that, and we're not in that space or place, or we haven't actually dealt with somebody who's going through something like that, maybe we don't even think that it's dangerous for us to be running, after hours. Like I said, it wasn't even after hours. It's only like 6 something. But it's just the world that we live in. I thought it was very powerful that the first thing that we think of is the dangers. The first that we think of are, the negative things that can happen if we do one thing or another. And so I thought, well, that's a good topic to talk about, is how people plant seeds that create fear. And sometimes fear stops you from showing up in so many levels. And so while you should be cautious, you want to try not to be so fearful that you lock up your whole life. You lock up your whole mind because you're always remembering somebody else's account or somebody's situation, instead of trying to, learn from it or create a different perspective through what they've been through, But it's not always for you to lock yourself up. It is for you to be precautious. It is for you to be empathetic. Sometimes you just need to hear somebody's story to be empathetic. Not that you need to have fear set in you for your life, but maybe next time when somebody is saying something, you would feel different about them. You would, have a different respect for what they've come through because you're connected to somebody who had to endure such things. So I think a lot of times we get to live through other people's stories so we can gain that empathy that we need in order to show up for one another, because that same empathy is because of somebody that I love who have experienced something, and because I care for them, I have feelings toward what it is that they have endured or what it is that they have gone through. And that type of energy I carry, and so we got to be mindful of what we're carrying, and that we are open to other people's experiences, not to lock ourselves up, but to have an open book test per se, right? And so now you're prepared in the event that you get a pop quiz, and so we gotta not take it as everything, but definitely take it as something. Maybe we don't know what we're gonna use that for, but we know God is not wasting our time. And so I think everything leads to another conversation with me and with Rondell. Like, it's crazy. Like, everything turns into a whole nother perspective, because it's like, it's so much things that we take for granted. Like, the ability to feel free enough to run. Can you think about the people who aren't free enough to run, how they're locked up? You know what I mean? And so you're locked. You're what is it? You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. You run the risk of being a victim, but either way, aren't you a victim? You're a victim of circumstance, right? And I think that in life, we are all victims of circumstance. The question is how we choose to show up in those circumstances, how we choose to show up in those perspectives, what we choose to do with that knowledge, how we choose to apply that information. It's all a choice that is given to us freely to make. And so how the seeds that have been planted are the conditioning of the choices that we make. So even with COVID, it is the seeds of fear that's been planted that condition the choices that we make. And, sometimes we make the craziest decisions when we're in fear. You know, we're sometimes you don't have a clear perspective. You got a point of view. And so you don't know to go this way or go that way. And I think that led perfectly into the perspective of how are you feeling about the COVID? Are you for it or are you against it? Because that same perspective was you have different situations, different elements where it's scary, where it can make you fearful. But then you have the opposite thing where it's scary because you don't want to be stuck in the house. And so you don't know what to do, but you want some form of results, but either way, it's scary. It's like the person who's running at dusk because she's a female and she don't know if it's safe for her to run or if it isn't safe for her to run. But because she has an agenda, because she has whatever her plans are, she's going to run anyway. You know what I mean? Because she's not fearful. But there is also somebody else who was planning to run that day, but because of the seed that was planted in that person, when they got out late, they recognized, well, you know what? I'm not going to be able to run today because of my perspective, you know, because of how I would feel, because of where I'm at. And so that is what I think the whole COVID vaccine is. It's going to be all boiled down to what part of fear are you on and which one reigns more supreme. The fear of you not knowing the side effects, you not knowing the cause, you not knowing what it can do or what it will do. And then the opposite side is the fear of, will you ever be able to go outside? Will the world ever open back up? Can you ever touch somebody again? Will you be able to have that big bash that you used to have? Will you be able to enjoy people at a different level? I know that when it clears up, that our bigger celebrations will have the best energy, more personal than it's ever been, because I think we learn to level up when we are missing something. We learn to level up when we really want something, right? And so it's about us really asking, how am I leveling up? What is it that I want? What is it that I see for myself? You know, and how afraid am I with what's coming up next? How afraid am I with, you know, the condition of the world right now? Rondell, do you feel afraid? Or do you feel like it doesn't matter? I'm just going with the flow. Like, what's your feelings?
I feel anxious, man. Something is
coming.
I
like that. I like that word.
Something is coming. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're trying to do. I just feel like I'm being lied to. I feel like nobody's really being honest about what's going on in the world.
Then I have a question.
It's just anxious. I got anxiety.
Anxiety is a great thing. And then I have a question. It's like, can they really tell the truth when nobody really knows? Or do you really know? You know, and here we go back with the conspiracy theories, the seeds that have been planted, yay or nay. You know, we all go back to the lady running at dusk. Is it a scary situation? Is it not? Is it scary for you due to what you know? You know, is it scary for you because one way is more scared than the other? The question is, what side do you stand on in your decision? Are you going to go with the vaccine or not? That's the real question. Are you leaning toward yes or are you leaning toward no? Do you want to be free again, or you just need to you know, let it play itself out? You know what I mean? That's the true question. It's what's name is text me.
Ooh.
Oh, it's my camera. Okay, forget it. But yes, and so I'm thinking at this time, if you're tuned in, tell me how you feel. What are your views about the COVID vaccination? Well, you leaning toward yes or no? Do you just want to watch it play out?
Don't trust it?
Do you trust it? I mean, we found it a little bit bizarre that it's free. That was scary. It was like, what have they ever gave us for free? you know,
you sure don't give people free cancer treatments.
So
that kill way more people.
So I think that's scary too, trying to think about the fact that, we suffer in so many areas. And at this point, now it's like you start in this area and it's free. And then it's scary when they're actually trying to figure it out. And we have our doctors and, just our essential workers receiving it first, still while we're figuring it out. They said, I was watching the news the other day and they were saying that it was going straight Illinois because it was urban, highly populated area who had a lot of cases. And so they sent some of the first shipments to, over there. And I thought it was pretty funny in the world that we live in where the city never shut down enough for, we could kind of stop the spread because of our need to, it costs to live, and on top of that, you still have to take into the account that even with all of that, I've never seen a time when we were put first as urban people. Even if you think about reparations and you think about just years of unfair, George Floyd. I mean, we can go on Sandra Bland. We can go on and on with the different ways that the world vaccine. Well, I was just thinking about the fact that they sent it to Illinois first. And they said it was because Chicago, they sent it and they said they did it because I was just watching the news. So I just was like, that's weird.
My question is, when have they ever took care?
And so for them to send it to us first, I'm thinking they dealing with the poor people first in
this country. When have they ever took care?
That made me get a little nervous because I'm like, what do you mean? Red flag. We've dealt with a whole lot of stuff and they haven't made anything or given us or offered us
to test a new vaccine, new medicine. It's 3 years. They had to test for 3 years. There's no way they can give you something that they made in 6 months. There's no way. It doesn't even make sense. And now they're trying to make it that the companies that's making it's not even going to be held financially liable if something's wrong with it. Another red flag. I just can't. I just
think that
I just don't know.
I think that right now we're
history tells me no.
And I'm not
on the history.
Look.
And the integrity of the health organization, the World Health Organization is no red flags, man. It's no way.
And then we got to be very clear about.
I just stay at the house.
She said the Bush family is present. Hey, Will. Hi, family. My pumpkin is looking so cute. Love that shirt.
George
Thank
Bush,
you, Queen. Not George Bush.
George Bush.
Thank you. Listen, I took this, I think, I don't know how many years I had this sweater, but didn't I spruce it up? So, honey, I can spruce up your gear, too.
I always use us first for experimental testing. That's what Karen said. Yeah. She knows. She don't see none of that.
Yeah, always use that. And that's what I feel like. I feel like they don't even choose us when we have all the evidence. You mean to tell me that the millionaires don't get before the urban cities? Are you serious? I don't know. And I felt like it's like an experiment because you want to see. Because we don't know really, and
don't know.
And because they've never put us first, I found it rare that now they are concerned about the needs. Like, oh, it's highly populated. There's highly population of a whole lot of stuff. I don't see them creating programs and youth centers and none of that in the areas. Because it's high crime. So give the kids something to do. That you can take money to create that. We're always ready to throw money when there's a problem, but not enough people are willing to invest in the solutions. We like to fix what's broken, but we don't really like to create a solution, invest in it not breaking again, And so that is kind of scary. I thought that. Hi, on Karen. Tanisha, what do you think? Are y'all aiming toward the vaccination, or are you just gonna say I want to sit back and watch a little bit? Because actually, I think it's probably gonna take a while before it gets around to everybody, for sure.
They're gonna go door to door.
No, I'm just saying it's going to take a while for them to be able to have enough. There's so many people in the world, and it's going global. This is a global pandemic, though. I think that's just like, it is everywhere. So that stuff has to get to a lot of different places. They're not saying maybe they're giving it to the urban people first because they want us, we're a lot of worker, so they want us to be able to go back to work. They want us to be able to get out there. But then, you want them, you wish and you want that they are doing it for the right reasons. But America or history has never showed itself like that. And that's what makes it a little bit scary from my perspective. And that's why I say it's important to have perspective, because until we can have an open dialogue, we can't really vote behind the scenes. We can't really vote when it's really time to vote, because we haven't even heard each other out. We haven't even understood why you may feel that, instead of just calling it a conspiracy theory, just pay attention to the facts and evidence, and it's a fact that they hardly ever put us first. And so it's just very bizarre that this would be the time that we would be first. And not even as black or white, or I'm just talking about rich, poor. It ain't even a black. When I say urban area, it just means highly populated, just in not as many resources. Let's say that. That's what I see with urban area. And that could be, it doesn't matter what color you are. If you haven't had the resources or the opportunities, or you are already at a disadvantage, then it makes you find yourself in the places that we find ourselves in. But the question is, what do we do different? The question is, what's really going on in the world today? That's the real question. I told you guys time and time again that 2020 was about assignment time, gaining clarity into God's favor. 2020 means to see clear. It's nothing clearer than 2020. And so I want to ask you, after we are counting down, what is clear about yourself after experiencing a pandemic, after experiencing perhaps losing your job, or maybe still having your job and having to actually work during a pandemic, perhaps having to shelter yourself and isolate yourself? Like, what did you find out about yourself? What became crystal clear about yourself in this 2020? We have been here almost a whole year. What are we, like 10? How many days are we away? What is today?
Today the 16th.
The 16th. So the 26 makes 10. 7, 8, 9, 30. So we are about 15 days away.
15 days away.
15 days away from a new year. 15 days away from a new year. And if 2020, but listen, nothing is by accident. Nothing is by accident. So if 2020 means clarity, it means being crystal clear. To be crystal clear, you either got to have on glasses that's going to make you appear to be close enough to see everything. And so the question is, how close has 2020 brought you to yourself? How close has it gained you in your new perspective? Because what we've been told to do countless times is to renew our mind. That's all perspective. And so what did you gain in this season that gave you a new perspective about yourself? Not really about everything in the world. What did you learn about yourself in this year? What did you learn about yourself during this time? What did you learn about yourself in this season? Because gaining perspective and gaining clarity is about sitting down and going through your life or this last year with a fine-tooth comb. Almost like you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss anything that 2020 came to bring, because it has been ordained as the year to give you clarity. The number is 2020. You can't make that up. It's written. And so if 2020 means clear, clarity, what is clear to you in this season?
Mm-hmm.
What have you found out about yourself? What did you discover? What did that isolation do for you? Did you lose that job and realize that, honey, I could have made it this whole time? Did you find a gift? Did you get clear about your gifting in this season? Did you get clear about your assignment in this season? Did you get clear about your family structure in this season? Because you had to stay home. You had to find out, do I like him? Don't I like him? Do I like her? Don't I like her?
I like her.
What do my kids need to learn that they don't know already?
Okay.
How are they doing when they have to be self-sufficient more so? Because let's face it, being schooling online is just, they might as well be in college on self-sufficient.
Call center, getting them
It's call center experience, right?
They're getting them call center ready, man. They're getting our kids call center ready, y'all.
For
Pay
sure.
Attention. Stay woke.
So I'm just saying, we gotta be
stay woke.
We gotta be real serious and real true and real, about what it is that we are getting clear about in this season. What we're learning about ourselves in this season. Where do we see ourselves going? We can hoop and holler. We can go back and forth about, topics that mean nothing, but it's more important that we are actually asking ourselves the hard questions, the questions that are going to level us up, the questions that are going to inspire our destination, the questions that are going to make us make the choices, live with the decisions that we are making in order to enhance our reality. I dream and I make choices in order to enhance my reality. And if I see that the choice that I'm making isn't enhancing my reality, then it is my responsibility to choose something different. It is my responsibility to go in another direction. It is my responsibility to level myself up, to be dedicated to who I am, to be dedicated to what I see for myself. I mean, seriously, being intentional, becoming our magic. We speak about that all the time. What does it mean to become your magic? It means that you are a supernatural force. That's what magic is. Supernatural force. Supernatural being. And so if you have a force with you, then the force is in your choices. The success is in your choices. Your leveling up is in your decision-making process. Mm-hmm. Your reality is about how much you worked about that thing you were faithful over. You create that reality. And so it doesn't matter what season that you're in. It doesn't matter what's going on outside. The real question is, what's going on inside? What's going on inside? Because that is the thing that keeps you in perfect peace. That is the thing that will make you sit back and find things to be grateful for in the middle of a pandemic. That is the thing that'll make you say, you know what? Every year I'm able to do a huge Christmas. This year I couldn't. I'm grateful for all the years I could do it, right? Maybe this year is like, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I'm grateful to have my family and friends to celebrate with, my kids, that immediate, what I created, that life, And so it's about enjoying with pure clarity the life you created. This season will show you who you are. It will show you what you've done. It will show you your intentions. It will show you your resilience, your power. Because it's about how you show up when it's raining. It's about how you show up when you can't really see. Because what I love about gaining clarity, one thing about 2020 vision is if you don't have glasses, and if you don't have a tool in order to allow you to see from way back there, what I can assure you is the closer you get to the destination, the clearer it will become. And so 2020 clarity is about getting close to the destination of you, to the assignment of you, to stop wasting our breath, to realize that in an instant, somebody can breathe your way and life can be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is the breath that we do not honor. Isn't it so amazing that a breath will take you away, and the breath is what got you committed to your assignment? Your breath is the reason why you're here. And many of us have been breathing, but we have been missing the mark on leaving or taking or acknowledging, gaining clarity, having peace, joy, contentment. It's not about what you have around you. It's about what you have in you. That feeling of knowing that even while I'm here, that I have the power to choose something different. That even while it looks like this, that only time and process takes you into purpose. And so all I have to do is be willing to process through the moment. And I can assure that I will end up where I see myself going if I can just process. And so I think 2020 is teaching us that if we can just process is getting closer. So the more I process, the closer I get, the clearer I become
to the finished product.
And so what is your process? You know, pandemic is a process. You don't know where you're going. I don't know where I'm going. He don't know where he's going. We have no idea where we're going.
We had plans.
Oh, we all had plans. But won't he show you that he can come in and change your plans?
Big plans.
Plans to be, listen, family reunions in Jamaica. I had a launch. I was going on a tour at 8 city. I think it was 8 city tour. I launched my boutique. I had plans to be a millionaire coming out of 2020. Hold on now. We never know. Just wake up. It only takes a moment, though.
Takes one moment. Wake up.
Oprah could read my book tomorrow and say, everybody for Christmas, go get 365 days. You never know.
Yeah.
Got to put it out there. But I'm just saying, you know, we had plans. I had plans to having my play put on this year. Now I'm not settling for, taking no excuses. Meaning I'm going to create another way. And so instead of having it where you can have it on the screen, I'm going to do it an audible one. So that you can hear it and feel it before you see it. So that you can create it. So that you can go from suffering in silence to healing in silence. Healing in silence. So it's no more sis if you are his. Good God Almighty. No more suffering in silence if you are his. Healing in silence. That means God. When I say his, I'm talking about God. You no longer have to suffer in silence when you become his. When you get in relationship with him. And that's what soul coaching is about. It's about becoming his. It's about connecting to that God piece that makes you so one of a kind. No more, sis. Gaining clarity into God's favor. 2020 awakening. I can remember that 100-day countdown like it was yesterday, and it helps that Melissa's sending me every day in my messenger. Honey, the messages are timeless.
2021.
You understand? I'm launching my I See Me Academy. Let me tell you something. If you got kids out here in this world and you've been complaining about the new generation and you haven't sponsored a kid or shared the I See Me Academy, which will start in January of January 17th. January 10th is the last day for enrollment. If you are not putting your children in this Mentoring the Soul program with yours truly and a host of other people who are going to volunteer, bring their time to impact our young generation. Like it won't just be me, but it will be especially me, because I know that my gift is special, and what they need is to know how special they are and that they are one of a kind. And so if you are not telling some young people, like I said, we have introductory to self-love initiative, that's ages 5 through 12, as well as understanding self-love initiative, that is ages 13 through 17. So I have for everybody. And if you are 18 and older, you need to join I Choose Me movement, and you can go to refill stations, get you some soul coaching, whatever. I got it for every age. But what I want you to realize is that if we are not willing to invest in what's inside our kids, it doesn't matter what you put on the outside of your kids. Because until they know, without a shadow of doubt, and you may think you know. Let me tell you something. The reason why, when I wrote How Special Are You, Where You One of a Kind, and was going to the libraries, the reason why I wanted to start going to the schools was because I looked up the suicide rate. Wow. And it was highest than it's ever been. That's crazy. In the kids ages 12 to about 16, I believe.
12 to 16.
High. And let me tell you about every parent when I saw a story. They said they couldn't believe it. That means there are stuff that your kids are suffering through that you don't even know about. Because nobody knew before they went and saw their kid what they were dealing with. So one of the mandatory things that must be done if the kid enrolls in the ICME Academy is that every child must write a letter, a dear soul coach letter. And the parent cannot read the letter. I need you to trust me with your kids. I need you to trust me to mentor their soul. I promise you, I will give them back to you better than you sent them to me. That is my guarantee. I can put your money on it. If your kids at the end of that 8 week, when they go through that graduation, is not better, I will give you your money back. I will give you a full return for the 8 weeks. That's how much I care about your kids. Because I need you to understand that they are worth more than that pocketbook. They're worth more than them Jordans, them iPhones, them iPads, all this stuff that are making everybody else rich. The thing that matters the most is how they see themselves. Yes. How they show up, what they believe about themselves, what they came to offer to the world. That is bigger than you, and it's bigger than me, and it's bigger than what they're experiencing. That we all had to pay a price of admission. But if we can make them feel secure in who they are, if we can go from peer pressure to soul pressure, we can change a generation, because we're aging out. We are aging out. And as I begin to look at all the kids that have grown around in this last 21 years that we have been together, the kids, our God kids, our nieces, our nephews, our friends' kids. Yeah, I'm just talking about everybody and the way they have grown from soul coaching unconsciously. Who they are, the village. The reason why it costs is because I need teamwork. And the same way you tell your kids, when you buy them something, you see it thrown on the floor, guess what you're going to say? Pick that damn thing up. I bought that. You know how much I paid for that? It means something. And so when you invest, your return is that you're going to say, you got class, because it's mandatory that they come to every group session. Mm-hmm. It's 8 weeks. When you go to the website, you can see it on the website, the breakdown of each week. Just the date. Because that's why I need the letters. The letters will help me gear each week. Because I want to make sure that every child is heard without even naming them. Almost like a secret spirit person coming in there, soul coaching them unconsciously. But I want to address what it is, where it is that they are right now. Not where you think they belong, not where they should be. I want to address how they feel right now. Because there was so many people that didn't know that I was being molested. So many people that were around me. So many people who didn't know that I was suffering in silence. So many people who didn't understand what it felt like to have a parent that maybe were on drugs. What it felt like to be homeless at one point. You know what I mean? These are secrets. These are shameful things that as kids you don't want to talk about. Then there were so many kids that need to be heard, as Essence said, that when you're doing everything right, that I'm saying I see you. That when you can't talk to anybody else, that the soul coach is here. Because I didn't come to judge. I came to minister you through that thing. I came to mentor the soul of you. Because if God sent you through it, then he equipped you for it. I just need to assure you that you've been equipped. That you've been favored. That there is nothing that you are dealing with that we can't help you get through. And so what's so powerful about the I See Me Academy is that they will have a lifetime soul membership. Which means after they graduate on the 9th week, that they will always be invited to the weekly group session as it grows from class to class to class. Because what I want to build is a group of well understood, soulful leaders that move from empathy, that move from love, that move from dream, that move in resilience, who keep on going, who inspire somebody else, who've made choices and still turn those things around. What I want to do is build evidence of what it looks like to love yourself. The reason why at the end they will get a certificate is because I want them to be reminded of the work they've done, that they completed a course, that they completed their work. So that in the moments, you imagine when you graduate from school, in those moments when you graduate from school, what do you say? You put that thing on the wall. You know why you put that thing on the wall? You put that your certificate on the wall because sometimes you need to remind yourself of what you've done. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to remind yourself of where you did the work at. Sometimes you got to remind yourself of who you are to yourself. So when you look at that wall and you see that you got your degree as a doctor, you became a certified coach, you became this, I'm telling you, you need to get your soul degree. That I see me degree. So when you look on that wall and life feels like it ain't going perfect, you can remember what it means to see you, what it means to stick it out, what it means to keep on going, what it means to get up, because you were built that way, because your soul coach told you that you're one of a kind, that the world would be missing a piece without you, that all this pain has value and it will lead you to your mountaintop, that you got a light that somebody else needs, that you have a story wrapped up in there, that pain will be processed into purpose one day. That one day you'll look back and say, didn't I inspire that little boy or girl? Didn't I show them who I can become from all that they've been through? Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, you don't want your kids to miss this experience. This will be the first
life-changing
class, the first class. And it will, and every class will name themselves. And I'm only going to let them name themselves at the end. I want them to decide from the community that was built and how they grown and what they see in each other. I want them to support each other. I'm going to breed people who celebrate, not crabs in a barrel. People who hold each other up, who understand that every piece matters, that there is no competition in being one of a kind. All you got to do is be you if you want to stand out.
That's it.
All you got to do is be you to stand out.
You are enough.
Nothing comes higher. Nothing comes better. You were born enough.
Born enough.
And so I want them to know that with every fiber of their being. I need you to know that. That's why I come here. To remind you that you're enough. That the world will be missing a piece without you. That all that hell you've been through was because you were meant to bring peace. You went through hell to contribute heaven on earth. That's why you went through the hell. To resurrect. To be an example. To become evidence. To live through your assignment. To make a difference. To leave legacy. To empower. To ignite. And so if you see down there, you see the Bling Boutique. If you go on there, you can see the link. I'm actually going to post in the comments when this is over. There's a whole write-out that you could just send to somebody. Send to somebody. If they get it in, I believe the early bird special, actually, since I just did that, I haven't changed the early bird special. So I'm going to leave it on for another 24 hours. But after right now, the early bird special is at $152. That, like I said, it includes 8 weeks of group sessions. It also includes a t-shirt, How Special Are You book. Mm-hmm. It includes a journal because they will have to write in journals. And so I'm going to send every kid a journal. It will include their certificate, their lifetime soul membership in IC Me Academy. As I said, it's 2 different groups. So you would either be in the introduction or the understanding, depending on the age group of your children. There will be both boys and girls in the classes, but on each class we will separate the girls from the boys when we have, I think, definitely 2 out of the 3 weeks. Out of the 8 weeks, they will be separated. So the girls will have their separate one with women and the men will have their separate one with women. And then we'll bring them back together so that we can have a conversation with both the girls and the guys after their separate conversations, so that we can learn to respect each other, so that we can learn to understand each other, so that we can learn to grow with each other, so that we can get this information and give them wisdom. Your transparency gives these kids wisdom. And wisdom is the ability to apply something that you learn. Those are the yard sales in life. It may have cost you a lot, but it's priceless when you offer it to somebody else. That's how God gets the return on his investment. That is you. When you offer yourself to somebody else from the thing that cost you so much, invaluable, which is why it's priceless. And so you already paid the price to become priceless. And that's what this whole I Choose Me is all about. Become Your Magic is all about. Gaining Clarity is all about. IC Me Academy is all about. Refill Station is all about. Picking Up the Broken Pieces is all about. 365 Days is all about. The calendar is all about. Precious Thoughts from the Soul is all about. The I Choose Me Bling Boutique line is all about. It's about making your shine crystal clear. It's about going from your roles and titles and into assignment. It's about taking advantage of the breath that you've been given. It's about showing up every day because it's your responsibility. Because you are supposed to. And so I had actually brought this over. I'm going to grab a card. Shuffle a card. We haven't grabbed a card in some time. And so we're going to get an I am card today because the Spirit just said, let's do an I am card. And you know what I do? I listen to he, she, me. Because it's just a voice in my head that confirms that somebody is working on the inside. The voice in my head that confirms that somebody is working on the inside. Is somebody working on the inside of you? Is somebody working on the inside of you? I always got somebody working on the inside of me. It is that God peace you got, that God peace he got, that God peace we got, that honors who God called you to be. That he got, she got, they got, we got. Come on now. So these are the ABCs of how special I am, a perfect game. You still got time to get it in time for Christmas. If there are anything that you see that you like, you need to go to PreciousPaulin.com or IChooseMeBlingBoutique.com. Check the replay. I got some things on clearance. Certain things are missing, so I'm going to check my stuff before you tell me. But if you go through my replay, I just was on about an hour ago. And I got some t-shirts that are on clearance, mannequin wear that you can get in time for Christmas. I will actually wrap it and send it to the person that you love. If you see something that is not your size and you still have a little bit of Christmas shopping to do, I can assure you they will say that is one of their favorite things. But as I said, t-shirts are $15. I didn't actually have it. That's not clearance, honey. That's my clearance sale. So t-shirts are $15. I had 2 long sleeve shirts that are $20. I had some sweaters that are $25. I have some masks. I didn't do that yet. They are going to be $10. Okay, so you want to pull a card for us, honey? Let me turn it down so you can see that. So right now we have had an amazing Become Your Magic Power Hour. And it's really about us. It's really about us showing up. It's really about us. Come on now. Leaders, and so I am a leader. Ain't no tricks. I couldn't even get the prayer out. He already had. He was on it. So look at this. I am a leader. And I promise you to make your kids leaders. Anybody that know any of my kids know that I produce leaders. Anybody that know the kids, I produce leaders. Anybody know my man? I produce leaders. Come on, I know, right, Star? She like, wow, look at that. So I'm God just confirmed, not denied, that I am a leader. You am a leader. You am a leader. You am a leader. Because guess what we came to do? To lead. To impress upon our impact from our circumstances.
But you gotta also realize you can lead from anywhere.
From anywhere. Oh my God, you can.
You can lead from any. You're an elementary school teacher, you have to lead your kids in the class. Okay, you working at the job, you have to lead the people at the job. You lead anywhere. It just depends on where you at. Should be leading. Should be leading somebody or something.
I am a leader.
Yeah, it was the head of the usher board. Should be leading something.
Gotta be leading something. And so I want to lead your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful young souls. And so if you know somebody that have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews.
May not be the leader in the boardroom. We might have some leaders on the court. Or in
Come
the court.
on now.
Leaders in court.
Leaders in the
court and on the court. On the field.
Yes. Anything else? As long as you lead. Because you lead here first.
Lead there
and
first.
So I want you to understand that you lead with your mind. It has to be in your mind.
Comes from your mind. The ability to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Is where confidence grows from.
Yeah.
You don't believe it. You're not comfortable in something. That means you don't believe it.
Yeah. So you lead from here. And so it's all about the seeds. And so I want to free the minds of everybody that I can come in contact with in order to plant a seed of self-love, to remove the doubt and the don't, and to impress upon that reality that you got it all. You've done it all. You survived it all. And now it's all on you.
Yes, all on you.
To pay it forward. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. And so, as you know, it is a relay race, and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint, it tells us what you got wrong in the world. But the soul print, it tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. And so I want us to go from loving ourselves to liking ourselves in order to gain clarity into God's favor, because you were born to be favored by God. And so in order to like yourself, you have the power to change anything that you do not like in order to fall deeper in like, well, who you were created to be, because somebody is waiting on you. So you've been tuned in, or as I say, plugged in to the Become Your Magic Power Hour with yours truly and Chef Ron, who has seemed like enjoying the word more than anything today. So I'm grateful to always have my cheerleader.
Listen, man, I get 2 cents.
To the right, to the right, to the right.
You want to give these people $1 million worth of stuff? I'm giving them 2 cents.
I got you, babe.
So I'm gonna give you 2 cents.
I don't have no problem. I said I'm thankful that you were here with me, and you jumped in. You jumped in when you did. I appreciate it. Our card today is I am a leader. Remember, you're listening to the Queen of Soul Stirring Inspiration, soul coaching you into a better relationship with yourself so that you can show up in your assignment. So that you can show up in your assignment. And assignment just means that somebody is assigned to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear me?
Ooh, that was good.
Assignment just means that somebody is assigned
so are you showing up for whoever's assigned to you?
So whomever is assigned to you, I hope you show up. Perhaps you could show up by creating a leader in them and signing them up for the I See Me Academy. But if that's not your assignment, then perhaps your assignment is to love on somebody who hasn't been loved on. Perhaps your assignment is to have patience with somebody who is hard to have patience with. Perhaps your assignment is to give comfort to somebody who is going through in this season. Perhaps your assignment is to bless somebody in a financial way because you have more than enough. You can $ P words if you like. Perhaps your assignment is to just be heard, to become your magic, to actually walk out in that abracadabra moment because you know that you were created enough. And so without further ado, we like to end with, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. I know I did. Let me help you. I love you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of those souls. And remember, I choose me. # no more excuses. Because you were born enough. Bye-bye. I am a leader. Don't forget it. You're a leader. Who are you leading? Get in action for your attraction. Who's assigned to you? Because you definitely have an assignment.
Definitely got an assignment.